have had a total of 8
international
PLEs from 2023 until now, and today we are going to be putting them all in a tier list. We will be ranking these from the Hall of Fame tier to the really good tier to the it was aight tier to the meh tier and to the straight ass tier. And this is going to be those PLEs that have been absolutely atrocious. The Hall of Fame tier is obviously the PLEs that have outperformed every single other PLE behind it. So without further ado, I think we start off with the earliest one from 2023, which is Backlash 2023, which was hosted in San Juan, did I say that properly? San Juan, Puerto Rico. And this was where the main event was Cody Rhodes versus Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar just came back, I believe, after WrestleMania, and he decided to challenge Cody Rhodes one-on-one. And this was that awful, that absolutely atrocious Raw after WrestleMania. That Raw after WrestleMania, bro, was so bad. They had Brock Lesnar come back to have Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa. Brock Lesnar ended up beating up Cody Rhodes, so that was a different story. And then we managed to get this match at the main event of Backlash Puerto Rico. We also had Bianca Belair versus Io Sky. We had Seth freaking Rollins versus Omos with MVP. I don't really remember that one. We had Austin Theory beating Bobby Lashley and Bronson Reed for the United States Championship, which was actually something that I didn't know happened as well. We had Rhea Ripley versus Zelina Vega. I remember this match because Zelina Vega was really over in Puerto Rico, and this was for the Women's Championship. You had Bad Bunny versus Damian Priest. I remember this match as well. This was really good. You had the Bloodline, which took formation of Solo Sikoa, Jey Uso, and Jimmy Uso versus Matt Riddle, Kevin Owens, and Sami Zayn. I am so confused. Did that happen? Apparently that happened, and the Bloodline managed to win. I didn't know that happened. And then you had the main event, Cody Rhodes versus Brock Lesnar. This, I don't remember how good this event was. As far as the most memorable moments, I'm gonna name it from top to down, was obviously Rhea Ripley versus Zelina Vega, Bad Bunny versus Damian Priest, and Cody Rhodes versus Brock Lesnar. Those three matches I remember being very, very good and very, very memorable. The rest were not really up to that scale, so I'm thinking of putting this on the it was aight category. I think Bad Bunny versus Damian Priest and Cody Rhodes versus Brock Lesnar really saved this show. Rhea Ripley versus Zelina Vega was good, but only because of the crowd. The crowd was absolutely amazing that night. I remember that very, very vividly. But as far as matches go, as far as memorable moments go, it was alright. It was an okay show. I don't remember this being too good either, like in terms of wrestling and everything. So it was alright. This one, now I remember, was pretty good. Night of Champions 2023. This was where Seth Rollins defeated AJ Styles in that World Heavyweight Championship tournament to win the World Heavyweight Championship, to be the inaugural World Heavyweight Champion, and they hosted this event in Saudi Arabia. This was really, really good. Honestly, I thought this was probably one of the best PLEs that they've done in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, and I feel like this was really, really good. A lot of feuds really blew off in this match. You had Trish Stratus versus Becky Lynch, which was a feud that happened a very long time ago, and they managed to blow it off on this event. Trish Stratus managed to beat Becky Lynch. You had Gunther versus Mustafa Ali. Mustafa Ali, who's obviously one of us Asians, you know what I'm saying? But he did lose to Gunther, which was definitely the right decision. All love to Mustafa Ali, but I think that was definitely the correct decision they should have done, because Gunther ended up having a very, very good title reign, and Mustafa Ali was really over in Saudi Arabia, so I think that was really good. Asuka defeated Bianca Belair for the Women's Championship. Now, this should have happened in the previous live event, which was in Puerto Rico, but they managed to do it on here, I believe, because it was a bigger audience. I'm not too sure why they managed to do that, but Asuka should have won there. I don't know why she won it then, but it is what it is. Rhea Ripley defeated Natalya. Okay, that's a bit of a nothing match, I guess. Brock Lesnar defeated Cody Rhodes by submission. I remember this moment, and I remember watching this moment live. Let's just say I wasn't happy, because let's be honest, everyone in 2023 loved Cody Rhodes. They didn't want Cody Rhodes to lose. We wanted Cody Rhodes to be the absolute best. He managed to pick up the win later on, I think on SummerSlam. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think SummerSlam. He managed to pick up the win against Brock Lesnar after this. But Brock Lesnar beat Cody Rhodes at this night. And honestly, I was pretty sad about this. You know what I'm saying? But it was a great match. Still sad about it. But then you had Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, the champions, beating the Bloodline, Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa. This, let me tell you, was cinema, ladies and gentlemen. This was absolutely amazing. Jimmy Uso turning on Roman Reigns was absolute cinema. This was great. Honestly, this moment was absolutely amazing. I don't think that anything could have made this better. And Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn managed to walk out of Night of Champions as World Tag Team Champions. I'm going to give this event, just because I remember it, a really good. I'm going to give it a really good, quite simply because for it to be Hall of Fame, Rhea Ripley versus Natalia should not have happened. Okay, that's just my opinion. Something like that should have just been left in the back burner. I know you want to put Rhea Ripley in this event, but you should have given her someone, I don't know, someone that was on Raw back then. I don't remember who was on Raw. I think Nia Jax was on Raw at some point. You should have given her Nia Jax. You should have given her someone dominant. You should have given her someone that could actually take a challenge, and it would genuinely be a good match. But apparently she beat her in 1 minute and 10 seconds. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the longest I've lasted in bed. So yeah, I'm gonna give this a really good. I think this was a really good PLE, just simply because of the most memorable moments in this PLE. Oscar winning the championship, Roman Reigns getting turned on. Overall, this was really, really good. Next up, you have Money in the Bank 2023. Now, a little story about this one. This happened in the O2 Arena in London. This also happened on my birthday. So, what are the odds, right? My birthday happened. WWE is coming to London. They're coming to London, the O2 Arena. What were the possibilities of me not going? Probably nothing, right? Nothing was going to stop me from going, right? No. I ended up not going. You know why? Because once I checked the seats, they were all filled. It was literally gone. I had no chance to be at this event for my birthday. Yep. I blame you. I don't blame them. I blame you. I blame you for filling out the seats at the O2 Arena that night. You know who I also blame? Damian Priest for winning the Money in the Bank on this night. Now, this was absolutely amazing in my opinion. I think the Money in the Bank ladder match was really, really good. Really, really well orchestrated in my opinion. And I honestly think that at the time, I thought LA Knight should have probably won this match. But Damian Priest winning was really good. And then they just prolonged his Money in the Bank reign. I guess they didn't really have anything to fill out in the middle, but they could have given him some really, really good caliber feuds. I think they gave him a feud with Cody Rhodes. They kind of made him look a little weak leading up to WrestleMania 40, where we would eventually cash it in. But Damian Priest winning here was okay. I guess it was an okay moment just because of the blow off of the Money in the Bank contract. Honestly, bro, you could have given this to LA Knight. You could have given this to even Logan Paul. I think Logan Paul could have been really good as a Money in the Bank holder. Shinsuke Nakamura was also in this. Butch was also in this. Ricochet and Santos Escobar, who was also in it. I don't think Santos Escobar could have really done anything with the Money in the Bank briefcase. Same as Butch, same as Ricochet. But I think LA Knight, Logan Paul, Shinsuke Nakamura, and Damian Priest were the only 4 people that could actually do something with the briefcase, and I feel like Damian was an okay decision. I think it wasn't too bad. You also had a women's tag team match between Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez versus Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler. I don't really remember this, but they did have a fight. They managed to win by pinfall. I'm just reading what it says on Wiki. The match lasted 9 minutes. I don't remember that, I'm gonna be real. Gunter defeated Matt Riddle by submission. I also don't remember that. 7 minutes 45, so it was a pretty quick match. This one I do remember. Dominic Mysterio beating... Whoa, let that fly over your head. Dominic Mysterio losing to Cody Rhodes. Now, I remember this match because... quite simply because of the build-up to this match. This build-up was actually really good. I don't know about having Cody Rhodes versus Dominic Mysterio at this stage, because around this moment, Dominic Mysterio was kind of seen as like a guy that just kept losing, right? And then you had Cody Rhodes, someone who we wanted to win. So we wanted Cody Rhodes to fight someone like, I don't know, Damian Priest or maybe LA Knight. But they ended up giving us Dominic Mysterio. And honestly, it wasn't that bad of a match. I don't remember this match being too bad. It was a quick match though, 8 minutes 40. You had the Money in the Bank women's match. Now this one, I remember this one because this year and last year, the women's Money in the Bank match really outsold the men's Money in the Bank ladder match, because Io Sky managed to beat Bayley, Becky Lynch, Trish Stratus, Zelina Vega, and Zoe Stark. I think Bayley, Becky Lynch, maybe even Trish Stratus could have really done something with the women's Money in the Bank contract, but they had Io Sky manage to cash it in like a few months at SummerSlam, and it definitely paid off. I think this was a great choice. I like Io Sky. I think she's really good in the ring. Seth freaking Rollins defeated Finn Balor for the World Heavyweight Championship. I don't know why they had this match at Money in the Bank and then have it at SummerSlam again. I honestly think that Finn Balor should have probably dethroned Seth Rollins at SummerSlam. It was just, I don't know, it just wasn't it for me, honestly. I like Finn Balor, man. I think Finn Balor should be probably one of the best. Hopefully he will be now, because he is in the new Judgment Day, which apparently they're calling Street Trash. Stupid ass name, but you know what? Seth Rollins beat Finn Balor. I think it's all good and gravy. I think that's actually a really good decision as well for that time anyway, because Seth Rollins was just getting up there to be a world champion and he was just trying to cement that title reign. So I think that's actually a good decision. Then you had the Usos. I hate this match. Okay, let me explain why. No, I love the match for what the match is. Okay, let me explain why I don't like this match. So you had the Usos, Jey Uso and Jimmy Uso, two of the most hype up guys, right? And you had the Bloodline. You had Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa, and it was gonna be Bloodline Civil War, right? The show was situated around this one match. Here's why I don't like this match. I missed this match. I did not watch this match. Because I knew, right, if I watched this match, I would be so salty that I didn't go to Money in the Bank, bro. I knew, bro. I knew I'd be so salty that I didn't go. Because earlier in this night as well, you had to have John Cena return. So you had a John Cena return, you had a great women's Money in the Bank, you had a few great matches with Cody Rhodes and Dominic Mysterio, and you had the a great men's Money in the Bank ladder match, right? I knew this match was gonna hit. I knew this match was gonna be fire. So I just missed it. Because I was like, man, I don't want to see this shit. I'm gonna get salty. But then I saw it later on, and I managed to witness Jey Uso pin Roman Reigns. Now this was absolutely amazing. The crowd in London were beautiful, absolutely amazing. 32 minutes of just cinema. Okay, this is one of those only times I got hyped. Let me tell you something, I got hyped for this PLE. So just for that reason alone, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to give Money in the Bank the Hall of Fame position, quite simply because of how well this was booked. Jey Uso being Roman Reigns was the best decision they could have possibly made. I think this was probably the best decision they made, because Roman Reigns was such an undefeatable source. It kind of felt like he couldn't be beaten. Now that Jey Uso beats Roman Reigns, it adds a little bit more depth and layer to the story. I think this was absolutely amazing for what it was at the time. Just for that main event alone, I think this goes in the Hall of Fame category. We move on a couple months after Money in the Bank, and we are in November 2023, ladies and gentlemen. WWE Crown Jewel, another Saudi event in November. And ladies and gentlemen, this one was, I believe it wasn't too bad. I'm just gonna run through the matches. Sami Zayn versus JD McDonough. I mean, it was aight. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I think this was a pre-show event. Seth freaking Rollins versus Drew McIntyre. I think this was one of the first times these two actually fought for the World Heavyweight Championship. And then they managed to fight in WrestleMania. And my biggest complaint was that they had Seth Rollins beat Drew McIntyre clean over here. How would they replicate that same magic at WrestleMania 40? And they managed to do pretty well with that, but this was a pretty good match as well, really competitive. I remember this very well. Seth Rollins managed to beat Drew McIntyre. Next up, you had Rhea Ripley defeat Nia Jax, Raquel Rodriguez, Shayna Baszler, and Zoe Stark in a 5-way women's match. I do not remember this, but I feel like this was probably one of the matches that cemented Rhea Ripley as a vital threat to the women's division, and I feel like this would have been a good match, to be honest. Then you had I don't want to talk about this. Solo Sikoa versus John Cena. Here we go. Let me explain. Solo Sikoa versus John Cena. Ladies and gentlemen. You'd expect John Cena to win. I expected John Cena to win. But you had Solo Sikoa win, which was okay. Alright? It wasn't too bad. It helped Solo... I think it helps Solo now to beat John Cena rather than back then. Solo Sikoa has not done anything up to that point anyway to have beaten John Cena, and then he went on like a 0-52 losing streak. So I mean, in the moment it looked dominant. It looked like he legitimately killed John Cena. I just don't like the way it all happened. The end result of Solo Sikoa beating John Cena. Beating John Cena should be a massive achievement. It's the same with Austin Theory. Austin Theory did literally nothing after that win at WrestleMania. He lost to Rey Mysterio on a random night of Smackdown. Like, how does that even make sense? Not just that, you have Solo Sikoa going on an 0-52 losing streak after beating John Cena, the GOAT. Obviously, Solo Sikoa versus John Cena wasn't that great. Then you had the Logan Paul versus Rey Mysterio. Logan Paul beating Rey Mysterio to win the United States Championship. I think this was really good. You obviously had Logan Paul catching Rey Mysterio from the air, saving his life, but I still think this was really good. I think this was genuinely one of the better Logan Paul matches. Then you had Io Sky versus Bianca Belair again. Io Sky managed to beat Bianca Belair. I think this was by distraction, maybe. I don't really know. So yeah, after the match, Bayley distracted Bianca Belair so Io Sky can hit a finisher and win the match. Genuinely, I think this was an okay match. I mean, it wasn't really too memorable. Bayley came out. Obviously, both of them have a feud. And yeah, I think this was really justifiable. Io Sky just won the championship as well at SummerSlam. Then you had Cody Rhodes versus Damian Priest. Obviously, as you probably know, Cody Rhodes beat Damian Priest. But that doesn't mean it came with no distraction. Finn Balor, JD McDonough, and Dominic Mysterio all came out in this match. And honestly, I think it wasn't too bad, honestly. I think Jey Uso came out at this point as well to super kick all of these guys and just leave. And yeah, I guess it wasn't too bad. It wasn't really a memorable singles match, but I still appreciate that Cody Rhodes managed to beat Damian Priest, and they gave Damian Priest something, okay? They gave Damian Priest Cody Rhodes. I still think it kind of made Damian Priest look weak. I feel like when you're Money in the Bank, you should be booked really, really strongly, but it is what it is. Then you had Roman Reigns versus LA Knight. This match was really hype because of quite simply how over LA Knight was. But I feel like this match was something that shouldn't have really happened at this point, because I respect them giving LA Knight the main event spot. I just think that LA Knight shouldn't have faced Roman Reigns this early, and they managed to give Roman Reigns the win. Obviously, they're not gonna make him drop to LA Knight so soon. I think it wasn't that bad, honestly. I think LA Knight losing to Roman Reigns kind of hurt him a little bit, because, you know, you have LA Knight who's so over with the crowd. He managed to keep that hype leading up to today, which now he's a United States champion. So it kind of paid off for LA Knight in the end. Roman Reigns being LA Knight was okay. I'm gonna give this one, it was aight. It wasn't that bad, okay? I don't think it was too bad, honestly. We are now in 2024, ladies and gentlemen, where we head over to Perth, Australia, where we see Rhea Ripley versus Nia Jax in the main event of the evening. They gave Rhea Ripley the main event spot because obviously she's in her hometown, which is all good. We also had the Kabuki Warriors in the pre-show, Kairi Sane and Asuka versus Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell. I remember Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell getting a big pop. Obviously, the Kabuki Warriors won the match. Then we kicked off the night with a women's elimination chamber match, which consisted of Becky Lynch, Bianca Belair, Liv Morgan, Naomi, Raquel Rodriguez, and Tiffany Stratton. Tiffany Stratton really did really well in this women's main event, and this actually came with a stipulation. The winner of this women's match and the winner of the men's elimination chamber match, which would be after, would get a world championship match at WrestleMania. Becky Lynch managed to win this match, and honestly, this is where, you know, the Becky Hogan meme started on X. And honestly, it wasn't that bad of a match. I just think that someone like maybe Tiffany Stratton or Bianca Belair could have done really, really well with this match. I think Bianca Belair was probably my prime pick because Bianca Belair versus Rhea Ripley would have absolutely smashed that event, but unfortunately that didn't happen. Becky Lynch managed to win. We still got Becky Lynch versus Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania, which was genuinely really good. I think the hype behind it was really good as well. You had Becky Lynch attack Rhea Ripley, the Ariel Helwani show, which is a show that I watched quite a lot. So it was really good. And you ended up having Becky Lynch beating all these 5 women to win this match. Then you had the Judgment Day, Finn Balor and Damian Priest versus the New Catch Republic, Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate. And they beat them. They beat New Catch Republic. Obviously, because I'm a Pete Dunne guy, you know, I'm a Tyler Bate guy, I don't approve of this. All right, bro, Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate, they're my guys, bro. Why'd you have to do that, Judgment Day? This was an okay match, honestly. You know, Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate are like 2 of the GOATs, right? So obviously they're gonna absolutely smash it. But the ovation that Dominic Mysterio got, bro, I remember that, bro. Australia hated this man. They hated this guy with a passion. So I liked that, honestly. Then you had the men's Elimination Chamber match, which obviously led to the World Heavyweight title match at WrestleMania. Drew McIntyre, Bobby Lashley, Kevin Owens, LA Knight, Logan Paul, and Randy Orton. You had Logan Paul cost Randy Orton the match at the end, which set up Logan Paul versus Randy Orton versus Kevin Owens at WrestleMania for the United States Championship. It was a really good Elimination Chamber match. I think that Drew McIntyre definitely deserved it, in my opinion. I think it worked out great for him, especially for the fact that he's feuding with CM Punk. And what happened after, I think it definitely was deserved. But if I'm being a little honest, fantasy booking me would say LA Knight should have probably won this match. I think this was the time for LA Knight to really prosper, to really do well. And the fact that they gave him a loss was, I guess it was okay, because in the long term we managed to get the result, which was genuinely really good. But what would have happened if LA Knight won this match? Then you had Rhea Ripley versus Nia Jax. This really cemented Rhea Ripley's women's title reign. Rhea Ripley beating Nia Jax, someone who's really just a monster to be threatened with. You know what I'm saying? Like, Nia Jax definitely should have lost here, in my opinion, and this was the best decision you could have made. So back to the tier list. I think this event, it was alright. It wasn't too bad. Nothing too memorable apart from the chamber matches, but I think it was really good. Now, ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for the most hyped up crowd you will ever hear in your life? Ladies and gentlemen, Backlash in France. This crowd made every match on this card absolutely amazing. You had Bloodline, Solo Sikoa, and Tama Tonga versus Kevin Owens versus Randy Orton in a tag team street fight, which was really good up until Tonga Loa. Let me explain. When Tonga Loa showed up, okay, he botched his debut. How can a guy botch his debut? Then you had Kevin Owens and Randy Orton lose, which was, honestly, I think, in my opinion, it was the right decision. Then you had Bayley versus Naomi and Tiffany Stratton. This was probably the most memorable moment in Bayley's title reign, quite simply because of Naomi and Tiffany Stratton, 2 women who are obviously very, very talented. This match was okay. It wasn't too bad. I think Bayley winning was definitely the right decision, because at the end we had Nia Jax beat Bayley, which was ultimately the best decision you could have made. Next up, you had Damian Priest versus Jey Uso. Tell me why there were people thinking that Jey Uso was going to win. I get it. Jey Uso was over. I get it. Jey Uso was crazy. Backlash, France even, were rooting for this man. Were absolutely dying for this guy. Okay? The yeet, yeet, yeet. You know what I'm saying? I get it. I don't know why you thought Jey Uso was going to win this match. I don't know who made you thought that. I don't think Damian Priest was going to lose to Jey Uso at this point. Damian Priest was just getting to cement his world title reign, and honestly, this was an okay match. Then you had Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill versus the Kabuki Warriors, Asuka and Kairi Sane, for the women's tag team championships. I think this is one of the first times the women's tag team titles are actually on the main card. And you managed to have Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill win the women's tag team titles. I think this was okay. I think Jade Cargill kind of slipped a little bit here and there throughout the match. It didn't break anything away from the match. I think the match was still okay. I just think that this was probably one of the weaker matches on the entire card. Then you had Cody Rhodes versus AJ Styles. Let me tell you guys about this match, bro. This match was goated. And just because of this match, bro, there's nothing else to be said. This match was goated. Everything about this match was really, really good. Cody Rhodes defending against AJ Styles. What the hell else do you expect? A lot of people were calling AJ Styles washed before this match, which in my opinion was the worst thing you could say, because they honestly both killed it in this match. So just because of that reason, I'm going to put this event, crowd and everything, this card was really Hall of Fame. This card, the crowd, everything was good. I'm not saying it was better than Money in the Bank. I'm saying that it was Hall of Fame. It was a Hall of Fame, just everything. It was really good. We move on a few weeks after Backlash in France, and we have King and Queen of the Ring. Why did I say it like that? Don't ask. But we had King and Queen of the Ring. You had Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill for the Women's Championship, defeating Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell. I honestly don't remember this match. You had Liv Morgan versus Becky Lynch. I remember this. You had Liv Morgan versus Becky Lynch for the Women's Championship. I remember this match because this is the first match that Dominic Mysterio maybe cost Becky Lynch the title. Apparently, I think this was a good match in itself. Then you had Sami Zayn versus Chad Gable and Bronson Reed. Let me talk to you about this match. It was okay up until Chad Gable lost. I like Chad Gable, but I like Sami Zayn, but I feel like ever since Sami Zayn held the Intercontinental title, every feud he's been in, it's been with people that should have probably beat him. I'm so happy that you managed to get Braun Breaker to beat Sami Zayn, but yeah, I just think that this was okay. I think Sami Zayn manages to pin Chad Gable as well. It was alright. I guess it wasn't that bad. Chad Gable obviously losing again was a bit of a stinker, but it is what it is. Then you had Nia Jax defeating Lyra Valkyria for the King of the Ring tournament the Queen, of the Ring tournament final. Best decision, honestly. You had Nia Jax literally kill Lyra Valkyria. Like, I haven't seen Lyra Valkyria since like this match. Like, I have not seen her since this match. So yeah, I think Nia Jax beating her was the best decision. Then you had Gunther versus Randy Orton for the King of the Ring tournament. Obviously, they are fighting now at Bash in Berlin for the World Heavyweight title in a rematch. I support this and I don't as well. Let me explain, okay? If Randy Orton won this match, ladies and gentlemen, Randy Orton would have been a world champ. Not just that, Randy Orton versus Cody Rhodes would have probably happened at SummerSlam. We got Cody Rhodes versus Solo Sikoa, and Randy Orton wasn't even on the card. Let's talk about Gunther. I think Gunther winning this match, in the moment, I didn't like, but the blow-off was really good. And I think that's a pattern with most of these matches. You have Gunther really being the one that, in my opinion, I didn't want him to win, but then he managed to really do really well. So yeah, I think this was genuinely really good. And then you had Cody Rhodes versus Logan Paul. So overall, I think I'll give this event, it was alright. You know what I'm saying? There were some good moments. There was some good, there was some very, very good memorable moments, like Liv Morgan versus Becky Lynch. You had Gunther versus Randy Orton, which was really memorable. We move on to the final PLE, the final international PLE up to date. It is 2024 right now. We're living the last PLE to happen abroad, okay, to happen outside of the US was Clash of the Castle in Scotland. This was great. Cody Rhodes versus AJ Styles in an I Quit match was the beginning of the end. I'm joking. I've noticed one thing about this throughout this video. The cards have really gone smaller and smaller. So you had Cody Rhodes versus AJ Styles in an I Quit match. It was alright. You had Mama Rhodes, Bloodline Rules. You had Mama Rhodes come into the fray, obviously slapping AJ Styles, and then AJ Styles threatening her with, I think, with the steps. You had Cody Rhodes manage to beat AJ Styles. I think there was a steel step spot where AJ was in the corner. Cody Rhodes was about to hit AJ, and then AJ obviously said, I quit. That was the moment that I found out Cody Rhodes can be ruthless as a heel, bro. Cody Rhodes as a heel would be like Homelander. Like, he would be so good as a heel. Then you had an upset. You had the Unholy Union, Alba Fire and Isla Dawn, beating Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill and Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark. This was, I feel like was this scripted? I feel like this wasn't in their books. I'm surprised that they managed to get this done. I don't know. I just thought this wasn't scripted when I first watched it. And I still don't think it is, but I think they're just running with it now. Alba Fire and Isla Dawn are, I guess they're okay champions. They're not really that memorable. I don't feel like they will be, which is unfortunate because they're really good as a talent. Then you have Sami Zayn versus Chad Gable. Chad Gable losing again, ladies and gentlemen. I think this was by an interference with Otis. All of Sami Zayn's title reign should have ended with him losing. I don't know why they kept the belt with him until WrestleMania. At least they could have gave him some throwaway people. They put Sami Zayn with guys that should have probably won the match. So yeah, I just think that this was okay. I don't think it was bad. I don't think it was good either. I think it was okay. Then you had Bayley versus Piper Niven for the women's championship, obviously because Piper Niven is from Scotland. They wanted to give her something to do. It was okay. Then you had Damian Priest versus Drew McIntyre, which in my opinion was probably the best Damian Priest match up to that point. Obviously we all expected Drew McIntyre to win, seeing as it was his hometown, but I think this really paid off, and I think this was probably the best decision in my opinion. I think this was great. When I watched this live, I didn't really want Drew to win because I feel like Drew winning here would be really predictable, and I think it wouldn't have been great. So I think having CM Punk cost Drew McIntyre the match, all that leading up to SummerSlam, honestly, it was great. What happened at Money in the Bank though this year was not something that I wanted, okay? I didn't want Drew McIntyre to win the Money in the Bank just for him to lose it. Why? What was the point of that? But I digress. This was great. I think this gets it was aight. I think it wasn't that bad, honestly. Actually, you know what? I'm putting it out really good. I'm putting it out really good. Yeah, I think it was a really good event. Quite simply, number one, because of the crowd. I remember the crowd being really good. But number two, because of the main event. I think the main event was, again, really good. You had a good start. You had a good finish. It was a solid PLE. And that is my tier list. None of it went in straight ass. But let me know if you guys want any more tier lists in the future. And yeah, I honestly think this was a great video. We're talking, we're chatting, we're vibing, you know what I'm saying? I think this was honestly great. Let me know what other tier lists you want to see. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys very soon.